For years, we've had various slashers in horror films, ranging from Michael Myers to Freddy Krueger, from Leatherface to Jason Voorhees, and even, well, recent characters like Ghostface, and, well, there's lots of others. But now we've got a new name in slasher films, and his name's Art the Clown. I recently talked about his first appearance in All Hallows Eve. Now let's talk about his bigger film. Here's a review of Damien Leone's Terrifier. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 2016 slasher-splatter horror flick, Terrifier. Released by Dread Central Presents for Epic Pictures Group. Written and directed by Damien Leone, who had recently helmed the All Hallows Eve. The film stars Jenna Kanell, Samantha Scaffidi, David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown, and Catherine Corcoran. The plot centers on a party goer and her sister who become targets of the enigmatic serial killer known only as Art the Clown on Halloween night. This film is the first film centered around the character, but it would be a second feature length to include the character after All Hallows Eve. Plus, fourth film and fifth installment overall, following two short films and anthology movies in the Terrifier franchise. Leone wrote the film specifically as a means of showcasing the character of Art and his practical effects work, such as the controversial hacksaw death scene. Anyway, now it had an Indiegogo campaign, although it ultimately didn't reach its goal when it was released. But it became a cult classic, though. Now, our story starts out with talk show host Monica Brown on her show. She interviews a severely disfigured woman, the sole survivor of a massacre that took place the previous Halloween. Brown mentions that the body of the mysterious killer known only as Art the Clown disappeared from the morgue, suggesting he is still alive. When the disfigured woman insists she saw him die, a man watching the program, revealed to be Art, destroys his TV. He changes into costume and fills a garbage bag with various weapons and knives. Later in her dressing room, Monica talks to her partner on the phone, making disparaging remarks about the interviewee's appearance. The disfigured woman who'd been eavesdropping attacks Monica and gouges out her eyes, laughing maniacally. On Halloween night, two friends, Tara and Dawn, drunkenly leave a party, encountering Art, who follows them to a pizzeria. There, Art makes advances at Tara, unnerving her before being kicked out by the restaurant owner for smearing his crud all over the bathroom walls. The girls leave the pizzeria to discover that one of Don's car tires has been slashed, and Tara calls her sister Vicky to come pick him up. Meanwhile, Art returns to the pizzeria, killing and mutilating two workers. While waiting, Tara asks a pest control worker, Mike, to be led into the apartment building he's working in to use the restroom. There, she encounters the cat lady, a deluded squatter who believes that the doll she carries is her infant child. Meanwhile, Art attacks Dawn while waiting in her car and chases down Tara inside the apartment building. Art eventually subdues her with a sedative. Tara awakens bound to a chair to see Art has suspended. Well, to see that. Well, let me restart. Tara awakens bound to a chair to see Art has Dawn suspended upside down. Art forces Tara to watch as he saws Dawn in half with a hacksaw. Tara escapes and strikes Art with a 2x4, but he produces a gun and shoots her to death. The cat lady witnesses this and seeks out Mike for help, only to be dismissed. Art attacks Mike, knocking him unconscious with a hammer. The cat lady soon discovers Art cradling her doll, and in a plea for the return of her child, attempts to show motherly compassion to Art by cradling him. Now, usually I wouldn't do spoilers for Well, some flicks like this. I know I didn't spoil All Hallows Eve, but I'll go ahead and give you the ending spoilers anyway. So, as always, for this, you have 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below. Fast forward to the time below. As I count down right now, if you've seen the movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. Vicky arrives to take Tara and Don home, but is lured into the basement where she discovers Art, who has severely mutilated the cat lady and is wearing her scalp and breasts. Art chases and corners her into a locker, but turns his attention to Mike's coworker and decapitates him. Art chases down Vicky, who briefly escapes him, but stops upon finding her sister's corpse. Art catches up to her and attacks her with a makeshift cat o' nine tails, but a recovered Mike knocks Art unconscious. The two flee and call 911, but Art recovers and kills Mike. Vicky retreats into a garage, but Art rams through the door and hits her with a pickup truck, incapacitating her. As she lies unconscious, Art begins to eat her face. Ugh. The police finally arrive, but Art shoots himself inside his mouth before he can be apprehended. After the police discover Vicky is still alive, Art's body and those of his slain victims are taken to a morgue, where the medical examiner unzips Art's body bag, and he suddenly reanimates and attacks the medical examiner. 1 year later, Vicky is released from the hospital after rehabilitation from the injuries inflicted by Art. She is revealed to be the severely disfigured woman from the film's opening scene, and thus the events of the entire movie took place that previous year. End of story. So, what did I think of Terrifier? I've got to say, this is one freaky film. Now in the 43 years I've been born, I have never actually seen a splatter horror film. Not that I can think of anyway. Even with being slasher and what have you. I know a lot of my horror fanatic friends have been talking about this film, especially when its sequel Terrifier 2 came out last year, which a review's coming up early next week. And I'm gonna try and make this spoiler free since it's just been a wee bit over that year. Okay. Now, since its release, it premiered at the Telluride Horror Show Film Festival in 2016 and later screened at the Horror Channel Fright Fest in October of the following year. And was subsequently picked up by Dread Central Presents and Epic Pictures for a limited release in 2018. In April 2023, it was announced that the film would be released theatrically in 700 theaters in July of this year. It got released on DVD and Blu-ray in 2018. Now, most of the response for it was mixed, though. They praised the performances of Thornton and Kanell, but the screenplay received criticism. Rotten Tomatoes, who has it at 55%, say that all about the splashy kills, the film artfully introduces the unpredictable massacre mime Art, yet fails to carve an entertaining story worthy of his wrath. Well, that's understandable and what have you. Now, let's see. Arrow in the Head, which is anchor website of the Joe Blow Movie Network. I've heard of that channel. Well, called the film a very simple film, providing 84 minutes of stalking and slashing that occurs largely within the confines of one location. Leon directs the hell out of that simple scenario, though milking every possible bit of tension from each moment. It's a thrilling, brutal, gory 80s throwback that I recommend checking out, especially if you have a fondness for the same decade of films that this movie obviously holds in high regard. Now, Starburst magazine, wrote in, one of its writers presented it as something of a throwback to horror B movies of the 80s. The film has far more style, both visually and audibly, than the average film of this nature. It's a surprisingly nice looking film for a movie about a clown chopping people into pieces. Yeah, when we had clowns, we had, of course, Pennywise from It. Of course, this film was done even before New Line Cinema released it the following year in 2017. And after this film's release on physical media and its limited release, Chapter 2 would follow. But I'm gonna tell you, this was wow. I'll tell you this. This is really, really brutal and what have you. The film received 3 Fangoria Chainsaw Award nominations, which include Best Limited Release, Best Supporting Actor for Thornton, and Best Makeup FX for Leon. Yes, like what he did with All Hallows Eve, Leon also did the makeup effects, which that was good. His story wasn't too bad, but I like his direction though, and its effect and what have you. Now, of course, with our cast, Jenna Kanell played Tara. She was good. Samantha Scaffidi played Victoria. Catherine Corcoran played Dawn. Poya Masani as the Calais. Yeah, kind of a strange character. Mac McAllister as Mike the Exterminator. Pretty good. And others. But the big credit got to go to David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown. He nails this performance. I've got to say, he did one hell of a job on this. And the score on this was done by Paul Wiley. I gotta say, it was eerie and frightening, and yeah. So overall, Terrifier was pretty bloody and what have you. It would get a sequel that I've already mentioned was released last year, and there's currently a third one that's soon to be in the works. So overall, with everything I've said, would I recommend Terrifier? I'd say yeah. Well, there, yeah, hell yeah. I'd say, well, it's between hell yeah and sure, go ahead. I mean, if you liked All Hallows Eve, then and if you've already seen Terrifier 2, shame. You need to see the first film. This film's bloody the good in ways. So what did you think of Terrifier? Let me know in the comments section below. If you liked the video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I finally give you my review of Us. So I hope you enjoyed this and check out my re-reviews for these 2 classic slashers. In the upper left-hand corner is my re-review of the original Halloween. The upper right-hand corner is my re-review of the original Friday the 13th. Or go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my review of All Hallows Eve. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe if you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc. Then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.